How are you doing today? So it's weekend and I'd like to release a new video today. So it's about a topic related to the multiple dependent dropdowns in Google Form. Okay, if I remembered correctly, I did some similar forms with AppScript, and that was created with AppScript. So it's a customized form, so it's not in the Google Form. So by default, this feature is not supported by Google Form. So you have to do something else to actually to make a fake multiple drop-down features in Google Form. So it looks like this. Okay, this is a form here. So basically, I have two levels of multiple dependent drop-downs. I have a department, and in this department, I have some different department. As you can see here, I have IT, HR, and for each of this HR or IT department, there will be different managers for each department. Okay, so if I choose different department, I'm going to go to a different section for this department. Okay, so let's try to do this. I put my email address here. This is required. So for the first try, I'd like to choose the IT department and go to next. The form will bring you to the IT section here, and you will have a list of the managers in the IT department. So I just give some fake data here. As you can see, I have 4 options here. So let's try to select C and go to the next. So it will bring you to next page. So here is page 1. It's a home page for all of this department. So you just put some data here and next page. So you can have multiple pages. So in this page, I only have the last question is required. So I choose the last question here and submit. So basically, you can do all the customization in the Google Sheet, and in the Google Sheet, it's going to create the form for you. And after the form is created, you can do something. You can modify the form manually in the Google Form. It won't break the script. Okay. So if I go back to the spreadsheet, which is linked to this form, as you can see here, so in the first tab here is form responses, is the original spreadsheet which is linked to the form. As you can see, I have a form icon here. If you go to this spreadsheet, you will see some issues here. So as you can see, I have 6 managers columns here. So this is annoying, I think, for most of you people. You maybe don't want to see things like this. It might be the best situation here. You maybe want to put all the manager in one column. So that will be better to manage all of your data, right? Because we did, if you go to the form, because this is not actually a multiple dependent dropdown. We created a dropdown for each department. That's why you have different columns, okay, for the managers. Actually, this is for the first department manager, and this is for second one. So that's why we have 6 columns of managers in the original form responses. So I built the script to solve this issue, and if you check these form responses combined, as you can see here, the data, the manager was combined in one column, and I remove all of the rest of the manager columns, and also I copied all the rest data, all the common data to the end of the manager, and also give a UUID for this response. So this ID should match the ID here. So just in case you have a lot of responses and you don't know if you delete any responses, and you can link the original data with the data is processed by the script. Okay, just in case you need to use this. So let's try to do another one so you can see the result. Because right now we only combined one manager, which is for the second one is IT manager. Let's try to select another one. So put another email address, test@gmail.com, and this time we try sales. And as you can see, this is a manager for the sales, and let's choose sales A. So let's input something here, sales manager A. Skip this. So this is just a demo page. So you can choose short text, long text, and checkbox, radio, and Dropdowns. Okay, I will show you how to change them later in the spreadsheet. But you also can do it manually. Okay, so you can add it manually. So let's submit. All right, so go back to the spreadsheet. As you can see here, sales was put here in the same column for the department. Okay, there's some issue here, I think. All right, let me check what's happened here. Sales manager. No. This is correct because this is original spreadsheet, so that's why it's weird. So I got the manager for IT in column E, and this is the last manager column for the sales. Okay, the sales was put here. All right, so the rest of information from the form all looks good. So if I go back to the form responses combined, as you can see here, I have the manager column, which is combined together, so in one column. And under the IT manager, I have the sales manager here in the same column. All right. So I think this is cool. And for this demo, I only used 2 level. Okay, so basically, so if you want to handle the drop-downs more than 2, and the script won't work. Okay, so I will just keep it simple. So let me show you this tool. So basically, the script is built in this spreadsheet. So you only need to make a copy of this script, and I will show you how to create your own Google form with these features built in the native Google form. Okay, so I will leave a link so you can make a copy of this spreadsheet to your Google Drive. So once you made a copy of this file, you will see. So the most important 4 tabs here. I have a spreadsheet for the form basic setup. So you can input the title of your form here and the description of the form. And also you can decide if you want to collect the email address or not. So if you want to collect the email, you just put a yes here. If you don't want to collect the email address, you can remove it or put anything else. And this is for the confirmation message. Okay, so it's very simple setup for the form. Okay, just a basic setup. And the next one is for the multiple dependent dropdowns. So this is very important. So basically, you want to collect the relationship for the dependent dropdowns. Okay, so here in the column A, in this example, I have department, and the column B, we have the manager for each department. Okay, I have the HR and the HR managers in here, and the IT. I've got IT managers here. Just things like that. You want to build the relationship between the 2 levels. Okay, so basically you can replace this department with anything else, and this manager as well. So you can do the customizations here. Okay, so if you have more relationships, you can add them in these both columns. Okay, only these 2 columns are used in this app script. Okay, so this is about the multiple dependent dropdowns. So this is the core part, and this is the main feature of this tool. And if you have the com pages for the form, so normally you should have you should at least have one normal page for this form, okay? So you can add more pages, of course. So you only need to add the question, and if you have any help text, you can add the help text here, and you need to choose a type. All right, so I only add 5 basic Google Form types here, so you can use it. Actually, if you want anything else, you can put any, you can create any types here, but you can change it later in the Google Form, okay? So after you build the form, you actually can go to the form, and if you don't like this type, maybe if you don't want to use this type, you can change it here, all right? Maybe you need a file uploader, you can change it here, all right? So this is just used to create the basic structure of your form, and you can add it later in the form, okay? And this is very useful for the checkbox radio dropdowns because you are going to have some options. You don't want to add them manually one by one in the Google form. If you have a lot of stuff like this, it will be headache to add them one by one here. So you can use this options column in column E. So you just separate your options with comma, and the script we're going to do the job for you. Okay, so page 1 is like this. So page 2 is like a copy of page 1. So you can add more stuff here if you like. Okay, so once all of this stuff are ready, so you can you should see a menu here called Google Form, and for the first time you will see 2 buttons here. So here for now I only have 1. That's because if I remove, let me open because you need to create a trigger to run the script. So let me remove the trigger and show you the another menu button here to create the trigger for you. But you also can set it up manually in the script. Okay, so I just opened the script editor and I remove my trigger for this project. So I click this button to open the trigger setup page, and let me remove this one. So right now I just so the trigger event is from the spreadsheet on form submit, and the function to be triggered is on form submit. So let me delete this trigger. All right, now it's deleted. And if I refresh this tool, I should have both menus, not menus, menu buttons here. And I can, it's kind of slow. So let me show you how to create a new form. So I have all of this set up, and let me remove the form I just used. Let's remove it. So you can see I create a new one here. It's a little bit slow, the network here. So if it's the first time okay, and now you have the create trigger button here. So if the trigger is not set up, you should see a create trigger button here. Okay, so first step, after you make a copy of this tool, and if you click any of this button, it should ask you for the authorization. So you just need to complete the process for the authorization, and you should be able to use these menus here. And if I click this create form button, and it's going to create the form with all of this data in the form dropdowns and page 1, page 2. So if you have more pages, we're going to create the pages for you. And if you have the original data here, it's going to unlink the previous form. Okay, so as you can see here, this form response is now unlinked. All right, and they're going to create a new form and link the form with this spreadsheet. And now the new form has been created and linked to this name here, form responses. And please don't change this name. Okay, if you change this name, the script won't find this spreadsheet, and you are going to cause some issues, I think. Okay, so now the form has been created. So if I go to this folder, so the form we're going to be placed under the same folder of the file of the spreadsheet. Okay, so now the form is created, and if I go to the form and the edit form, you will see the details about this form. Okay, so now this is the email address, and all of this stuff are created based on the information you set up here, and the dropdowns, and the page 1, page 2. All right, so right now there is no trigger in this project, so if you submit something, the script won't be triggered. So next step you need to do, you need to create trigger. Okay, so the new trigger has been created. So now you should have a trigger here. If I refresh this page, okay, the trigger is set up, but you also can set it up manually. It's a very simple process. Okay. All right, so it's set up. Now let's run some tests. I'm sorry, this button. And if everything goes fine, I think we should have the same result as I just showed you before. This time, let's try planning. Planning. I am planning a new video. I don't know, actually. Let's choose some random answers for these questions. Okay, last one, let's choose Google what? Sheet. Submit. All right, if I go back to the responses, so planning manager C, I'm planning new video, and UID added as the last column, and you have the combined data here, one single column for the manager, and the UID here. So this is a previous one for the last the form, so you can remove it, so it's unlinked. You can delete it if you don't want to keep it. Okay, so I think for now everything is set up, and you should be able to use your form. Okay, so and that's it for today's video. I hope you can find something useful for you. All right, so I will see you next time. Have a very nice weekend. Bye bye.